Hey, family. Alrighty. Had to wait for my notifications to come on and let me know that my live stream is up. Hey, family. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Hey family, Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Hello, how are you? How are you? Hello. It's Friday. It's Friday night, family. And look, I asked Hugh to create a topic, right? Yesterday was love versus lust, right? So I was thinking about love or in love versus love. Let's talk about that. In love versus love, right? And I'm looking at some of the definitions that it gave uh as far as like being in love with somebody, right? And it talks about warm and intense bond, right? I miss you feeling, home base safety. But when I read a little further down, right, and I'm gonna read it again later because it's not. I tried to make it small behind me, but I couldn't make it pretty small. But it say can become wealthy, unhealthy. I'm sorry, it can become unhealthy when anxious and what is it, avoidance or just a high. And I'm talking about the in love part, right. Hugh. I was talking about the in love, right? And when I was reading across that, right. I was like, wow. And then I'm gonna read the other part, but I figured I'll bring it up on my other phone to screen it. And then it talks about love, steady love, right? Chosen commitment, right. Security and loyalty, lasting stability. And it also says can become unhealthy when make sure it's neglected and controlling or taken for granted. That's deep. That's deep. Right. Cause look, I was thinking about that before I came on when the lady said the other day that love don't hurt. And I'm like, yes it do. Yes it do. But I know we'll look at love as being kind, gentle, warm, compassionate, stuff like that. But love can hurt as well. You know, the loss of someone as well. But now what I loved about it and just looking at it, when I and it not to look at it in a negative way, but when I tell my kids, I said, I don't just love your mother, I'm still in love with your mother. And reading this right here about in love, right? And it talks about a bonded attachment. Then I realized the addictive side of it. I realized the addiction of it. Which is that codependency that we talked about on here too as well. You know how like I'll make statements out my mouth that I never want to put another human being before God again or make that human being my God. And that's what I did. And looking at that word bonded attachment, and it explained everything about me. You know, with the codependency, And it's not that you're trying to be abusive or anything like
Right.
that, but the goal is you have to be honest with yourself and realizing that I am a fixer and you can't fix everybody. And I wanted to share a little bit on this before like everybody start coming up, because Candy sent me a message. I told her I'll be on at 6. And
And I would say, does everybody deserve to be fixed too? I would add that there.
no,
There's
well,
some people you just cannot. You gotta let them know.
from my personal experience of going through all of that, you don't never want to try to take your mate and try to mold them and shape them. Now, a lot of us don't understand that, because when I was a lot younger, I didn't understand. But it was an older guy that told me. This was like after I left my first wife, right? And
Right.
I was with I had woof, woof. I ended up getting with this girl named Nedra. But he told me, he said, whatever you do, he said, don't try to mold and shape her. No, he said, don't try to steal her independence, as far
Right.
as basically trying to mold and shape her out to be who you want her to be. The thing was to love her for who she is. You know, you don't want to try to steal her personality, her character. So when I hear people talk about that, when I hear people say stuff like that today, like wanting to fix that individual or change their whatever they dressing and all of that, and even though he told me that, it didn't really sink in until later down the line. Because yes, another thing too, whatever she wanted, I made sure she had. This was the one that I left my first wife for, and I had another house down the street. And and I remember him telling me that. And once I left my first wife, that's when I really found out the difference between just loving. Oh God, here you go again. The difference between just loving a person, because my first wife, I love her. Now, when I met Nedra, I understood the difference between not just loving that person, but being in love with that person. So now, when I still look at this word right here, in love, that bonded attachment,
Right.
and it was basically the same here, because my whole goal, anybody, and I say it a lot, any woman that comes in my life, she ain't got to worry about nothing basically. I got her. But now it's the part where I see some of us, they might dress a little bit. We found them attractive and they dressed a little bit provocative, right? And then now once we get together, we don't want them to dress like that no more. But that's what turned us on to them,
Right.
because our insecurities going to make us feel like, well, now that she's with me, somebody else might find her attractive too. Somebody is going to find them attractive, but it's not like your mate gonna get ugly or you gonna get ugly. And that's what I had to understand too. You know, and I thank God my bishop cleared that up a little bit more, but well, towards the second marriage, because he was like, just because y'all two are making the decision to be together, that don't mean people outside the marriage are going to get ugly. As far as people in the
Right.
world, and that made a lot of sense, because once we get married, it's like it's all about us. It's all about us. There's nobody else. The two shall become one. And the other day, I did not want to knock my sister, my Christian sister, but because I know what Bible say, the two shall become one and all that type of stuff. But I started realizing through the marriage, mainly the second marriage, that ain't really true. That ain't true. That sounds good. Where the two shall become one. That sounds good. But now you got the two individuals, the two characteristics, the two personalities, and different. Well, we think different, we love different things, right? And you don't want to take that from your mate. You don't want to. You want to love them for who they are, and that's something that I have to understand too, because Right now, I'm at a point where I am very, 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 very careful about who I allow close to me, you know.
Right.
And that's only because I don't want to lose me ever again. And then on top of that, I feel like this, you know, at the age that I am now, it's not like I'm trying to reestablish life or nothing like that. To me, I'm older now. If I don't know what I want and what I desire out of life, if I haven't already created it, that's how I'm looking at life now. Um, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, at no goddamn going almost 64, I'm
Right.
comfortable. You know, I mean, come on. So that's just looking at the going downhill now. Well, not deteriorating, but you know, it's like you
Declining.
yeah, what you say?
Right. Declining.
Watch that
That might
word.
sound a little worse.
Watch that
I
word.
don't know.
But you know, in a way, it's like you was born as a child and you begin to leave this earth as a child. It's like you go back into that baby mindset, you know, as far as where you're getting older now. And the ones that you raised and took care of are gonna have to raise and take care of you. You know, cause now you going back into those baby fighting modes where you're gonna need their help again. And I don't want to count it too fast, right? But I see it's happening. I see it's happening, and that's the blessing is, cause I'm looking at I'm getting old. Matter of fact, it's not that I'm getting old. I'm old. Somebody like 70, 80, they might say, "Oh, you ain't that old." Whatever, you can say what you want. But now I don't look at myself as being elderly or old like that. But I have to be honest with myself. I'm not a kid no more. A lot of the stuff I used to do, I don't do no more. I really don't care to do no more. You know, I'm okay in a certain place right now. But now that's just for now. I don't know what might happen once I turn 64, going into the 65th year. I might decide I want to go and become a swinger again. I don't know. But I just know right now I'm comfortable with where I'm at in life. But you never know what might happen. And then I'll be sitting back 5 years from now. Dang, I remember I used to be real comfortable in this area. What am I doing now?
Right.
But that's just life. Um, but yeah, this is sometimes we say stuff, right? And I'm just talking about me and how we say things, but we really don't understand what we're saying. Because
Mm-hmm.
even when I look at the word, I'm going to say in love. And I thought that was real important to not just love a person, but to actually be in love with that person. But reading them both do say that it can become unhealthy when neglectful, controlling, or taken for granted. And that's the love part. Steady love. That's the love part. Excuse me. So it has its good points, but then it also can tell you how, unhealthy we can become as well. And
Yeah,
that's
everything's you have to live life in a balance. Like anything to an extreme, it will lead to unhealthiness and even the rotting of the soul.
yep. And you know what, Hugh? I was just listening to some people. A lot of what we was talking about last night, right? Um, just sounds so unfamiliar, with a lot of the stuff that I hear on TikTok. And then I'm looking at the younger generation and I'm looking at myself and I have children, they're much younger. But it's like, I don't hear them talk like this. So it's like, do they really think this way? Or do they really feel this way? You know what I mean? Because I don't know, some of the stuff we talked about last night, um, it just sounds so out of far fetched, you know. And I don't know.
So can
It's
you give an example?
You can.
Can you give an example?
It's just I thought you said you. Well, like I wanted to call my son because, well, not just him. I look at my daughters. Me and my 26-year-old. We talk a lot. And our conversations is nothing like what I hear people saying over here. It's nothing like that. It's more like reality, the good, the bad, but it's not like degrading people or men versus woman type stuff. You know, it's they standing more in their own lane, but now you might have somebody that come into your life that doesn't meet a lot of that expectation, your expectations, and then you realize you might have to do something different. But I don't hear the constant bashing and degrading and stuff like that. Even with when me and little Steve talk, little Steve don't speak like this, and I know he has a girlfriend and everything, and he don't speak on this in this manner. And I can call little Steve sometimes because I know he got his sisters, then he got his girlfriend, then dealing with his mother, and sometimes I call him because the attitude of the women, right? And I be like, man, you all right? You know, because there's so many different personalities he's dealing with. So I gotta call him and check. You all right? He be like, yeah, Dad, I'm all right. They just girls or something like that, right? But what I realized, little Steve is in his own little world. It's like a lot of stuff outside of him he don't allow to bother him. And that's one thing I could say about him that I really love about him. It's not a lot of outside stuff he lets get close to them. He's like in his own little world. He do what he do. He have fun. He enjoy his life, you know. But still, as a man who understand how women, I'm gonna say attitudes can be. Like 1 minute they here, the next minute they gone, and that 1 minute they here, you know, little stuff like that. So I just learned not to try to figure them out. And that's what my ex-wife taught me. Not to try to just figure it out, just be there, be that shoulder for them to lean on. You ain't got to try to fix them. Little stuff like that, right? Because that's our biggest problem. We want to try to fix our mates. And even now I don't want to say they wrong, but when you got some women that wants to encourage and motivate their men to do better in life, if the man don't mind, that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
But if he feel like you forcing something on him, that is going to cause a problem. Cause that's where for me, I just feel like I never had nobody in that sense. I'm talking about like both of my wives. I was more independent, so they worked and everything, but I was the one that was so used to just giving out the money, buying the material stuff. Now we was there for each other, but materialistically, stuff like that, like when it comes to like clothing and shoes and all that type of stuff, I'm so used to buying for myself. My daughters and them ask me, Dad, what you want for your birthday? What you want for Christmas? I say, whatever you get me. If you give me a card, I'm all right with that. Because if it's anything out of the ordinary that I want, you know, that's probably pretty expensive, I'm going to get it. So I know that part I don't look for them to do, really. I wouldn't mind now, but I don't look for it. And if they do certain things that might cost a lot, that would really surprise me. That would really surprise me. Like over the years, they have been like, they get me shirts and stuff like that, shirts like this, because they know I like those stuff, you know. It might have number one dad on it somewhere along that line. Or they'll get me some ties because they know I love ties and I love socks and colorful socks, stuff like that. So they kind of know my taste in that sense. So but it's not, I'm not used to nobody buying me nothing pretty expensive. I'm not used to that. So it's like whatever they get me, I'm all right with it, you know. And even their mother, if their mother had got me a card or something like that, I was all right with it. Because basically, if I wanted something and it was expensive, I'm gonna get it myself, you know. But yeah, I'm trying to see who might pop up. Um, it's Friday. Uh, I don't know about this new TikTok thing. It seems like it's a little like downhill compared to how it used to be. I don't know what's happening.
Fix it. They might do a revamp because a lot of people are deleting the app, so they might do a revamp because they don't want to lose all that revenues and things of that nature. But I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. I would make sure my other platforms are up to par.
Right. And see, that's what I'm looking at because I'm like, some of the ones who platforms. I know what's his name, Conversation. He's still on over there. Mr. Petty, he's still on over there. I don't know today. It looked like he was just playing some music today. I kind of glanced through I ain't go in, but I kind of glanced through, and it just seemed like he was over there playing music today. I ain't hear a lot of them talking, but basically the same ones that was on there. He got about three spaces open, but I be going through first, is stand in the hallway just to see what people talking about, and then yeah, if I hear something interesting, I might pop in. But for the most part, I keep right on.
Window shopping.
Mm-hmm. So, but hey, I know I ain't hear nobody talk too much about other platforms, but I'm kind of stuck for where I'm at right now with TikTok because I like TikTok. So I'm kind of stuck here because I can do little videos to send back over. And on my regular restream, I can just go ahead and let me see something. I can just go ahead.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was trying to see was I restreaming to my Instagram because I just embedded my Instagram and it says sending data. But yeah, I was trying to see am I live over there. But yeah, just my other little platforms. If it get to that point that I just have to go there, then I'll just try to fix it where we all can transfer over there. But yeah, let me see. Go over to my Instagram, see am I shooting live over there. Yeah, I was over here watching some movies and stuff. A Bigfoot movie. I ain't seen a Bigfoot movie in a while.
I wish he was real though.
I kind of wondered for years if it was, but I don't know. You couldn't tell me at one point it wasn't. But I know they did.
When the dinosaurs were around or something. No, well, we came after the dinosaurs, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
We get this close to them spotting one or seeing one, but we never really see it. I be like, man, they know how to play that thing.
Yeah.
They'll fix it.
Yeah, I don't know how people watch that stuff and be like, because doesn't it get boring after like the 100th time they didn't buy them?
Well, now because you older, so it's more like you kind of wonder. It's probably something out there. It's probably something out there, a hairy looking ape or something like that. It's probably something out there, but it's just that they call themselves hunters. They be close up on certain things, but they never really reveal it. So it takes away from it. It'll get you hyped and everything, but then it takes right away from it.
Right.
They cut to a commercial, they end up going somewhere else. So I don't even watch a lot of them like I used to. But at one time, man, I couldn't wait to see like the Bigfoot, like the hunting move adventures, and then not only that,
it's like a guilty pleasure.
Right. Not only that, the vampires too. When I was younger, you couldn't tell me vampires didn't exist.
Some warlocks.
Yeah, werewolves. I was thinking about that craziness. I don't know.
Do you think she was in love with you, or do you think she was in lust with you?
Probably in lust. But the good part about it, I'm glad that because of her attitude, I'm glad that stuff was revealed the way it was because it didn't go no further. But one of the things with me, I was beginning to find her interesting because I thought she was actually a professional and everything because she acted like one. And then I had to realize, Steve, so many people come on here and they take on different identities. So you really, really, really got to be careful. One good indication to realize that is people not putting their real names up. So
I don't know about that because that's more like a safety issue. People just stop. So I don't know about that. I'm not putting my real name on here.
Well, I got you. Mine's is up there because I don't.
Yeah, well, you're already a public figure, right?
Yeah, and I was getting ready to say, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, I Google my name, and I can do the talk show. I can do either or, and it just pulls up so much information about me, about the talk shows, about what I do, community wise. I was just Googling stuff, and I'm like, if anybody ever want to know about me, that's all they got to do is Google me. Google me. Not wait a minute. It'll tell you. It's like if you doing a search for a research on somebody, something like that, or statistics, something like that, right? And if I put my name in, it'll pull up a lot of stuff. Yep. Huh?
Like a background check.
Yeah, all that. So I was trying to look up when did I start the Couch Conversation show, because I was trying to think in my head, did I start it when I was on Astro? Because I not used to do live streams back then. When we was with Claudia and Chef Tashawn. So I knew I was doing lives back then. So I was trying to track it back to which year it was so I could put it in. But it did take me to it did mention me as far as doing the couch talk and the team talk show. It just mentioned all of that, you know. But the only thing, it didn't have a date when the couch because it was the Couch Conversation at first. So it didn't have a date when the Couch Conversation was started. But I was trying to go all the way back to when I first started the Couch Conversation. So I went on YouTube and started strolling down. It said it took me back to 4 years. I said, no, it was longer than that. Because I was doing it when I was driving that tractor trailer, when I was working for A. Dewey Powell. And Chef called and got my butt fired for doing the live. So I had to go back and think about I was live streaming driving. And that's why I try to warn people now that drive tractor trailers and be wanting to do a live stream. You said 2018? It was, yeah. Cause look, 2017, me and Archie was doing the radio show. Yep. We was doing the radio show trying to get the airplane here. And I ended up doing the couch conversation show. I ended up doing that. So I was trying to calculate the years back. Thanks to Sean, because I mean it wasn't kicking in fast enough. Around about 2018. So I'm gonna make sure I put it in like my bio. So that way what is 2000 what 8? Whoa. About what 7, 8 years ago? And I'm trying to move away from 2017. Yeah, because I was living in Parkville. I ain't asked all that to Sean. Sean said that's when my girlfriend Corey, my wife Corey, got locked up in 2017. Right. Corey probably glad to be away from your butt, to Sean. He calling me no old head. But yeah, somebody had requested to come up. I ain't know who it was.
I didn't let them up because they didn't have a lot of followers.
They have?
No,
oh, they don't. Okay, good.
Like it's like newly made.
Oh yeah. I think I need to start kind of glancing on that too before I let somebody up. But so far it's been pretty good. You know, you might get one pop in here and there, but that's the whole point.
I have a question. Is it common for people who are intoxicated to get on TikTok? Does this happen like oh my goodness? I'm like, y'all know this is public? Like, really?
I'm telling you, just about every panel you go on, it's going to be at least about 3 of them on there. And not being smart, if not the host. I'll be like, oh my God. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'll be...
Ooh, because I'm not going to say, but like, yeah, like yesterday was like, you know, I mean, I guess you call it liquid courage. But I'm
right.
Like, you know, we're here to help people, so that's why I didn't like, you know.
And see, that's why I had sent something over about my 12-step spiritual journey, right?
I saw that.
Yeah, and I wanted to actually make that more clear because the goal is because of the recovery process, and when I say that, it's even dealing with like the mental health and all that type of stuff. It's the recovery process, right? The addiction itself, and that could be with people's mental state as well. So that's where I want people to know that when you're dealing with me, you're dealing with somebody that helps people put their lives back together. You know, and I'm not trying to be smart, and I'm gonna try my best not to be too judgmental towards a lot of these therapists and counselors and stuff like that. But I've been running across some sick individual on here too. It's sad. It's sad. It's the point of my mind being open, but I didn't realize that we have so many counselors and therapists, and I don't know too much about the psychiatrists yet, but I'm just saying we have so many sick people that's professionals that's sick. And I'm like, wow, because to me it's like being a Christian, being a religious person, and not to say they don't make mistakes. That's why I have to get out my head, because I'm thinking, because you're a professional, you got your doctorate degree, you're certified, you know that you are healed. And then I have to realize you learn a lot over here. You learn a lot, because I'm like, I gotta stop that. I gotta stop that. Um just because somebody got their PhD and all this type of stuff. Whew.
Yeah, I saw that even in accounting. I'm like, y'all are some, I don't want to say like a derogatory word, but it's like, wow, like it's amazing to see, kind of. It's like, how am I more emotionally aware and in tune than they are? You know, and I see how people cope with, like, you know, drinking, doing smugs and things of that nature, and it's just, I'm just like, wow. Like, they would do anything for $1.
Right. And see, people like us, right, who, to me, and I just have to look at myself, that does a lot of self-help work, and knowing that they are professionals, and why you don't know how to fix yourself? That's where my mind be going. Sometimes I'm like, all this information, huh?
I think it's because they seek external validation, but they don't take the lesson and what they're doing. Because school builds discipline. It can build character. I mean, if you don't go party and things like that, you don't overdo it, right? It is supposed to build community if you invest in that. But they be so focused on the prestige of it and impressing their family members and their friends and everything. They don't build their character. So it's like a pipeline. Like, okay, you graduate high school at 18, you go to college, but if you don't really explore, like, maybe your childhood trauma, you don't reflect or anything like that, you're still that 18-year-old inside. And then you go into the white collar or just work, and you never have time to actually develop, and you just go with it.
Yeah, I'm listening to you, Hugh, but I was reading what Tashawn wrote as well. The good part about the transitional housing, Tashawn, dealing with the adults, right? Dealing with the adults, I'm gonna say compared to teenagers, because you're dealing with grown people, but their mindset are like their children. They're children, but they're grown. So the hardest part with that, Tashawn, and I be sharing it a lot. Thank God for y'all, because I have to learn not to get too close, because I care too much for people, you know. And as long as you got adults that's doing the right things that they supposed to do. Deborah. Is eh. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you said something, because I was getting ready to end this. I was getting ready to end this. I was like, I don't I thought it was her. But now, look, I'm saying Deborah Denhart. Now, I know the name, but for some reason, I'm like, what the freak? Whew. Thanks to Sean. Whew. I was gonna say, what the hell? That was another horrible one.
I have a question. So with the people, that kind of come up here or come up to you on your other platforms, you would say typically they're more in lust because they don't even really know you like that. They just know your public persona. So would you say, like, in your career as a deacon and things of that nature, your other adventures, would you say that's common for you?
Well, in Baltimore City, I'm known as, because of my activism and because of the work I do here with strengthening the community and everything, and I deal with our politicians and stuff. I'm very, very hardcore, very. So a lot of people who see what I do, it's like they distance themselves. They distance themselves, and what I found out, mainly the ones that get paid for certain positions that they have, it's like they don't really want nobody to know that they know me because they know I don't play when it comes to certain things. I'm straightforward. And what I had to understand with that is just that some people just are afraid to stand up for what they want out of life. And I see it a lot in Baltimore City. Dante Hickman made a statement to Sean. I don't know if you read it, but Dante Hickman, he came from under my pastor. But anyway, he's doing a lot of great work in Baltimore City, building up stuff, right? And he just opened up another church not too long ago, and he's getting ready to open up another senior citizen spot and all that type of stuff. But what he was saying, he was talking about how, like, the politicians and everything, is too much great stuff that's going on in Baltimore City that they're not really coming along with you, right? But that's what Dante Hickman was saying. So I sent him a message over about, let's go. And I made sure I put strength in the community in there, and to remind him too that my bishop is your old pastor. And I remember the skinny Dante Hickman. But no, he's doing some great work. And it's just basically what he was saying. It's the village of people that needs to come back together. Because a lot of the stuff that's happening, once we do come together more, for what I be saying, we need to come together and unify more. It'll slow a lot more stuff down. And that's some of the part of the statement he was making. Now, I made a statement with him to let him know, I'm right here. I'm right here. And people like Dante Hickman in Baltimore, I'm quite sure he see me here. He know who I am. But people like that, I admire, right? Because I see the great work he's doing. And it's awesome. And I'm proud of him knowing that he came from under my pastor's leadership. Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant came here lately too, and he was with Dante Hickman, with the new church and everything. And they bad mouthing him on that end, but he does a lot of great things too. That's why I try not to get too involved in a lot of the craziness, right? Because people is human. You get me? So but the thing is, too many people in Baltimore City just freaking complain. Now, Brandon Scott is the mayor. He cannot be out there. And that's what I had to understand. Brandon Scott is the mayor. Westmore is the governor. They can't be everywhere at one time. They are lawmakers. They're not the ones in the communities that's cleaning up and doing. They'll come out and help now. Organizations that's in there to make themselves look good. But in reality, it's the people that got to come back together to do these things. And that's what gets me. Everybody want to point the finger at them because I was doing it myself. I was coming hard for Brandon Scott and them. I had to learn to stop. Do your job, Steve. The ones that's in the communities, like We Ours Us, Hugs Don't Pew Pew, all of them, bring common sense up, please. All of them that's in the communities doing great jobs, slowing a lot of this bull crap down. You know, so those the ones that I have to give homage to because they are out there doing what they can to slow a lot of this stuff down that the police department is not doing. But yeah, now in Baltimore, I'm about business. I'm about business. And a lot of the stuff I used to do, you know, I just don't do no more because it's like the ministry part of everything basically. It's just growing in the ministry and standing firm on what God called me to do. But other than that, you know, I run across certain people that find me interesting. But when it come to business, I just don't step across certain lines. You know, even when I go to church, that's not a problem. I love the kid and I love the joke because I'm in a mega church. There's some beautiful women in there. If I wanted to act like a fool, I can act like a fool. I thank God that's not when I go. That's not why I go. I'll dress up like I don't know what though. I'll hook it up, but that's not why I go because I be joking with myself sometimes. Sister Barbara over here, Sister Betty over there, Elizabeth over there, and I could see them over there talking, and I'll be like, oh man, I hope they ain't talking about me. So I ain't got to worry about that. When I go into church, I can have my fun and sit there and enjoy myself. I ain't got to worry about nobody. Look, I left this wife for that new wife, and no. I'll knock them, but my thing is, at least I ain't got to worry about that when I'm sitting up in the church.
Right.
I ain't gonna worry about nobody saying, "Oh, he took me to McDonald's and had me order something off the 50-cent menu." I don't even think it's $1 menu no more. Except for Tashawn.
$10 menu.
And look, and I ain't gonna lie. At one time, early on, oh please, I'm telling you, it's easy. It's easy. I see it a lot with a lot of single men that they might be elders, they might be deacons, they might be ministers, or just brothers. Period. And they'll run through the church. And my thing is, I just thank God I ain't got this shame and that guilt under my belt.
Right. I don't know how, like, man, like, because the woman in the church, like, don't they know? Like, because you know rumors, right? So is there, like, a competition when they try to go for the pastor? Well, I'm like, girl, I am not competing with you. I'm here to learn the word. That's it.
Well, the good part, I love, and I'm looking at my pastor, right? One, he has a beautiful wife. Very, very beautiful. And he said it himself. If he wanted to go around and do this and do that and do that, he can. And he know it. He's 80 years old, but he know it. But it's just that's not him. And he's the type of man to, if you need help. I remember when they used to give away cars and all this type of stuff. help people with their mortgage and all that type of stuff. And I'm quite sure he still do. But all that running around the corners and that's one thing I can say about my pastor. Out of all the years that he's been in the ministry, he's been in it for 40 years, right? And I've been at the church, it'll be 25 this year, but I never heard nothing about him trying to get fresh with nobody or whatever, none of that. And I already know that if, it's a big church. So you can take advantage if you want. But that's one thing I love about him. I'm going to say that. He's staying firm on his beliefs. He's staying firm. And he come from Cherry Hill. And, I grew up in Baltimore City. He came from Cherry Hill. He went to get into engineering. But then God pulled him to the other side, and he called him towards the ministry, and that's where he's been at since then. But he write books and all that stuff. Go to other churches and speak, teach. But that's a great example to me, because he's like he's older, like that big brother. My oldest brother is 71. And I remember when I was younger, my oldest brother, man, he liked expensive clothes and all that type of stuff. He reminded me of Teddy Pendergrass when I was coming up. And he carried it very, very well. And I told him one day recently, I said, you like my role model. I want to be like you when I grow up. Now he calling me, asking me, can I help him? But I'm just saying, because he's a very conservative dude. But two, player. I'm telling you. But I was amazed when I was coming up. He would spend like $120 on a leather belt, stuff like that. Real expensive money on shirts and stuff. I'm like, huh? But yeah, he and this one lady, did they get married? She had a beauty shop. I think she still got the beauty shop. He was driving Mercedes and all that stuff. So I don't want to talk horrible about my family, but the guys normally find women that they work, but they find women to take care of. Most of the guys. That's why I say the women in our family, the women in the Copeland family, are the strongest vehicles you ever want to meet. Now this, and it's not to underestimate none of my nephews and stuff like that, but I don't know where they find them at, but they'll find women to take care of them. Will spend more money on them than they spend on themselves. I ain't used to that, but I watch the way they dress. Some of them be spending $200 something on a pair of goddamn jeans. I'll go right down the flea market and buy the same goddamn jeans they got for like $35, right? For a couple of pairs. The only thing, huh? Yeah, that one too. Yeah, because you know what I realized? It's just the sticker, like the name brand. My nephew thought I was paying like $200 and something for my jeans too. I was like, nah. I went there in the flea market, got the same type jeans, but they got that the brand name ain't on the back. So I had to make sure my shirt covered the tag. But the pants, they basically looked the same. It's just that it didn't have like Sean John on it or Ralph Lawrence or somebody like that, right? Man, please. What do you think about that, Carmen? Please.
Well, I'll say this. There's a documentary that you can pull up on YouTube, and it's called How to Sell to a Negro. It was made in the 50s, okay? Okay. And they were saying that the Negro, you have to stroke his ego. he's going to spend more money because he feels insignificant. So they're going to buy the name brand stuff, right?
Right, for their ego.
For ego, pride, because it really said because they feel insignificant, right? So you have to think about this. If they made this, and this was sent all over what we call commerce, okay? To salesmen and stuff. We don't, you know, we don't have Sears and Roebucks anymore. We don't have a lot of salesmen stores anymore. But now it's just the name recognition.
Right.
Okay? It's just the name recognition. And when I'm gonna just say this, if you pay attention, just watching certain things, even on you on this platform and stuff, you will see more Black people with Gucci on, Louis Vuitton on, than anybody else. Okay, and you have to always say, why do we make other people rich, and every brand is a last name? And my mom and dad told me that my last name was good enough. Okay,
what is that?
So
Tom Ford.
So
go ahead, keep talking.
So we're actually buying our own poverty while making somebody else rich. Okay,
right.
And this is what's so crazy is, like I said, my son is 44 years old. My godson is 46 years old. Well, both of them, I don't know how this happened, but both of them were in Upper Bound. They were taking economic classes when they were kids. Both of them ended up with an assignment. And their assignment was to do a cost analysis on the Nike tennis shoe. And when they did how much it cost for the materials, for the shoes, where was the factory located, all of that stuff, and then the import of the shoe back into the United States, the markup on the shoe, and the cost to the consumer, okay? And marketing. Guess what they found out? That the average Nike shoe, and this was during when Nike first came out with the Jordans, okay? They found out that it only cost Nike $1 to make them tennis shoes. Now, right. if you can remember, the first Air Jordans was going for $400 or $500. Who was standing in them lines?
Black people.
And what was it? And if they could not afford them, what was they doing? They was killing other Black people for them. Okay.
Right.
We have to deal with the psychology of the emotional lack of self-esteem among our people, male and female, and we value somebody else's name over our name. And I'm so glad that my parents taught us that our names were good enough, and never allow anybody to disrespect your name, okay? And if they pronounced it, then we were supposed to wait and quietly but politely correct them, okay? But a lot of times in this society now, and you got to think about the marketing, they went and grabbed all the hip-hop artists and they put their labels on them. And even though they didn't say that they were endorsing these brands, just putting it on in a video was marketing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Was marketing. And who were they marketing to? The young Negro male or the young Negro female or Black person, right? And if you look over the world, when people say we don't have a culture, everybody is dressing like us. Right. Everybody is acting like us, you know? Even though they don't realize a lot of this stuff is character. That ain't even really us, okay? But we have to have these, I keep on saying it, honest conversations, you know, and this is one platform where we can speak the truth and stuff. And you know what? And this boils down to love never fails, because when you love yourself, you don't fall for the trickery. And there's nothing wrong with smelling good, looking. I feel like this: when you smell good, you look good, you feel good. It all goes together, you know, and everything. And people don't even realize the brands that they advertise are not really the expensive brand. Those are the knockoff brands that fancy houses knock off themselves, okay? People don't even realize. It's not that many. I'm going to say this. If you do your own research, you'll find out that there is not that many different manufacturers that's making clothes. It's all about the label. So you can have ladies.
Common sense. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Look. Can you see this one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting ready to put them back. But you talking about something that smells good. Smells good. $15 a bottle.
I'm gonna tell you.
But look, because she right. I used to buy all that real expensive stuff, and my friend Brucey, right, and I apologize, Common Sense. Brucey had some limousine on, and my stuff was expensive. All the women was like, "Oh, you smell good. Where you get that?" It was $5 a bottle. And I paid all that money. I was like, and I went to DC and started buying me that $5 bottle.
Listen. I can't wear cologne or perfume because the floral scents and stuff.
Yeah, you a headache. Yeah, it can make you sick.
But guess what? I went to the oils. I get the oils. And they smell just as good.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
I ain't like the oil too much, but I would get it too sometimes.
And I get the Egyptian vanilla musk.
Woo!
And everybody is talking about, girl, what you got on? Girl, what you got on? And they don't even realize I only paid $7.50 for it.
Yo.
Right.
Look.
You know, I would wear Amazon dresses I got off of another website. I love TikTok Shop. And it was my body that made the dress. It wasn't the dress itself.
Right.
If you can wear it, bro, because I have a shape on me, then it doesn't really matter. And some of them would tear a little bit after a lot of use. But I still have a whole bunch that lasted, and they only cost me $35 a pop.
You know what? I would say this, and because I'm a sewer. I learned how to. Actually, I used to draw and make my own clothes, take newspaper, my own patterns and stuff, and I would just have an idea in my head, right? And sometimes I didn't have access to a sewing machine, so I would sew with hand stitch it, and you wouldn't even know it, right?
Right.
I think I dressed better when I was making my own clothes. I'm being totally honest in the shopping stores and stuff. But, and I'm going to say this. When you get an item, you're supposed to personalize it anyway.
Right.
You're not supposed to look like the mannequin, because that's a dummy.
Stop, come.
No, she's right.
She is right. That's why I said stop, because the way she said it, I loved it, right?
Because I was wearing a dress. I was wearing it better than somebody was wearing the same dress, and I wore it way better.
Because look, sometimes, we can go out there and spend all that money for other people's stuff and be looking like a mannequin, a dummy.
Yes.
I'm telling you. But look.
You know why I hey Steve, I said this to my son. We were talking, right? And I told my son, I said, well, I say if people would just sit back and realize this. You buy the same, you going to the same store somebody else going to. They spending the same amount of money. Y'all all going to the same club, but then you hating on each other. I'm like, that's the crazy. How you gonna try to flex when all of y'all went to Ross?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna share with you what
I just been thinking it's crazy, but go ahead, Steve.
What a guy had taught me, right? I like nice stuff, right? And let me say this too, I like nice looking stuff. It's this one guy dressed real nice, right? And I asked him one day, I was like, man, where you get that from? Where you get this from? He said, the thrift store. And I started shopping at the thrift store. You talking about some quality, fine stuff. And it's one called Savers here in Baltimore City. Oh, I go there, I get lost. But now, this is where I'm at, because something he was saying on Common Sense. I ordered a lot of blazers off of Temu. And I ordered a lot of plaid pants off of Temu as well. So now, Temu is probably take a whole year and a half for your stuff to come now. So I started looking up blazers on Amazon and plaid pants now. I said, you know what? Because I know I ordered them from them about 3 or 4 days later, I got my stuff. So now I'm over here. Now I ordered some clippers though, but I'm trying my best. Not to go shopping because I'll get caught up. But other than that, I realized the same stuff that we order from Temu and them, you can basically get it off of Amazon as well. Yeah. Now I don't know if it's made overseas like that too. I'm not sure, but okay.
Remember, Steve, it's not that many clothes manufactured. Okay. And that's all coming from China and India.
Well, I know it ships a lot faster. That's all I'm saying. But now, because when I looked at it, I was looking at the same type of basically pants, designs that I like, and rather than me doing Temu, I said I'm gonna go ahead and order from them because it comes a lot quicker. With Temu, I don't know because Amazon have it in the warehouses here or what, because they already gets it. But with Temu, you ordering it from there, it's take a lot longer for it to come. So it's just switching up stuff, and I learned this too, and I love it. I used to pay some money for blazers and all that type of stuff, and you can get the material. You might not be as quality as it, but it works. I'm telling you. I always keep an extra bottle of spray starch too.
And if you're a member, you get like cash back because I'm a member. And then they actually have Amazon Haul. So it's basically like Temu.
Look here what I said. And then I'm going to tell y'all something too. Hey, Ageless. I order the same with my cologne because I started buying Limousine. I'm sorry. Cuba, right? The cigars. I love that. I love that smell. And when I was driving tractor trailers, I would use the Cuban one every day with the brown wrapping. And because I sweated a lot, it would just match my what is it? It covered everything basically. You would always smell the cologne. You would always smell it. And I loved Cuba. So I worked in that. And then I brought the blue ribbon one. Once I got on my suit and tie, I would spray that one because that was more casual. You get me? So you got to know which one to wear with what. Just like one of the bottles I showed y'all is normally a bottle that I would wear when I got on my suit and my ties when I'm at church because it's not too strong. It smells good, but it's mild, So I had to learn certain things, you know, it goes with the body. Some stuff don't go great with the body. So I had to learn a lot of that. You know, learn a lot of it. You don't want it too strong, and if it doesn't have the right scent, you're gonna overspray it. But if it has the right scent, I just do a cross with it. Then I come down, and that's it. I'm straight. I'm straight. But I was showing y'all that, right? Because the different ones that I use, like my Cuba, I use that every day. I use that every day. You know, you take your shower, stuff like that. And that's a daily thing. And I'm so used to it. And when I was working for A. Dewey Powell, right? The guys that be on the dock, they would tell me, Steve, we can tell when you here. I said, how? And they said, we smell you all the way out here.
Right.
I'm like, forget y'all. But yeah, you know, you can get some real nice stuff without paying all those expensive prices. And that's what I learned through this process. You know, you can look nice. It ain't like somebody gonna come up to you, boy, let me see that tag, blah, blah, blah. That's not a problem either. But I like, it's a style. It's style, you know, that I like. And it's that slim fit now. Because I gotta watch it. I was getting ready, not the skinny thing, but it's the slim fit. I love that look. I love it. And being an older guy too, I love it.
Are you talking about body count?
Huh?
Are you talking about body count?
No, I said the slim fit outfits.
Oh, okay.
No, slim fit clothes. Yeah, slim fit.
Yeah, I thought they called that body count. Like it's supposed to make you look slimmer.
Oh, no. I got you now. I you know what? When you said that, the first thing I thought about, like the Italian boys, their style, you know the way the Italian boys dress, yeah. Slim leg pants. Oh, I love it. And then my cuffs is like this, so you can see my socks and everything, right? The ankles past the ankle, but up past.
Show us a picture.
Ew, this kind of I'm crying.
Don't make me go and pull out my. I take my I got colorful bow ties. I mean, I got colorful ties. So my ties I turn into bow ties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, beautiful? What you doing here?
I'm not doing nothing but thinking about the rent.
It's gonna snow here. We're gonna have 3 to 6 inches, and that's a big deal in North Carolina.
Why? It don't snow up there that much?
Nah, it don't snow that much. So it's gonna shut us down. It's gonna start tomorrow and go until Sunday.
I went to North Carolina. They do not have sidewalks unless you go into the city.
Correct.
It's so weird. I couldn't walk anywhere.
Yeah, they don't have sidewalks like that. They're starting to because everybody's moving from up north down here, so it's becoming very overpopulated. I think they've like doubled some counties. So
I was thinking about living there, but I don't know. It's too hot.
Yeah, it's hot. And then it's
common sense and dry.
Trying to make it a little more northernish. You know, a lot of people from North Carolina migrated to Baltimore. Mm. Did you know that, Steve?
Yeah, I'm trying to. What is Summersville? Summersville. Bill.
Yeah, that's in North Carolina, somewhere down there.
Yeah. All right, cause I think that's where most of my family members are at. The Copeland family is down there, Sumter or something like that. North Carolina.
I thought you was related to Steve Copeland. You know Steve Copeland?
Which one?
Copeland, the evangelist.
Yeah, preacher. We probably is.
Yeah, I think he might have owned your family back in the day.
Well, I don't know about him, but
oh my goodness, great.
Didn't they do that, Steve? Didn't they give them their names?
Well, yeah, my great grandfather. Let me make sure I say it right. My grandfather's father was a white man.
Mm-hmm. My great grandmother was white.
Yeah. So I'm all right with that. I be hearing people, you know, I don't know. I don't know. But look, I've been I was telling my cousin Corey, I said, now I'm connected with, they mostly white, because it started out like Copley, and then it went on up to Copeland, right? And I thought I was the only one that searched that during my ancestry, and I came across a whole group of people that broke it down just like that. I said, oh my God. So I know actually, from what I understand, my great-great-grandmother was living in the house with them, right? And she had matter of fact, she had 4 kids all together. But the wife supposed to had kids too. So my thing is, I don't even know who the other 3 are. Only my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, I'm familiar with our side, but not his other brothers and sisters. So some kind of way, all of us that's talking, I know we some kin, because it ain't like a Smith or Jones, you know what I mean? And then up in Florida, somewhere like that, I think they got hot dogs and bologna and all of that. Copeland's stuff like that up there. Then we got the air conditioner company. We got restaurants in near Ocean. Well, I was gonna say Ocean City, but yeah, the Copeland, Kenneth Copeland, yeah, I think we probably some kin. I'm thinking about going to talk to him one day, see can I get some of that Copeland money.
Tell him I met his cousin and then bring you through the door.
Yeah.
See that reaction.
Cause I want to go meet him and ask him, can I get some of that money that he paid Tyler Perry for that jet?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know that. I mean, I remember listening to him when I was coming up, but now he looked like a demon that got to him.
Yeah.
Like, what the what?
Yeah.
No,
I used to be big time. Kenny Copeland, Benny Hinn. Remember Benny Hinn?
Yeah.
See, you're too young for that. You don't know nothing about that.
Right. I really don't. Right.
Benny Hinn.
North Carolina has like roaches in the grass, right?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
If you get roaches in North Carolina, you gotta pay. I used to live when I lived in North Carolina maybe 15 years ago. The house I went in had a lot of roaches. I had to go underneath the crawl space and put boric acid underneath the house, and that's what got rid of them.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, because I was on a trip and we were in the grass. We saw the roaches. It was like being a group of girls. We screamed and ran and almost flew over each other.
Yeah, they be big water bugs and stuff. You know. They fly too.
Yeah.
So the water bug, you might be sitting there, Steve, and all of a sudden you see something go.
We were in the dark too.
It's a water bug.
Well, I'm used to a water bug, but the roaches in the grass.
Yeah, but in Baltimore, I lived in the house on. I used to live on Madison. You know what Madison is, Steve? I lived on Madison in one of them old brownstones. I had a nice apartment. But I'm telling you, there was rats everywhere because the number of old buildings, all they have is mice and rats in Baltimore. I had to move.
I grew up on Linden Avenue in the 60s. Then we moved around on Utah Street. Then from Utah, we skipped over.
Big houses on Utah, aren't they?
We skipped over Madison.
Mansions.
Huh?
They were like mini mansions back
then.
I used to live on Utah too.
Yeah. And I would, you know what? We lived 2434 Utah, and then we lived 2444. And I was talking to somebody at 2444. Now, during the time we was living there, it was an apartment building. I don't know if they 4 houses once again now, but it's the white people taking back over. YT.
Yeah, that used to be.
Yeah. So and they expensive now. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember when they were giving away dollar houses.
Yeah.
I had one. It was on what is the name of that street? I lost the street.
They doing the dollar houses again.
Are they?
Yeah, but see the thing with that, people don't realize even though they can get it for $1, you have to show them, say like, right, that you have at least, I'm gonna say, because the way we was doing it, you had to show that at least you had 180,000 to fix the houses up. But what I'm looking at was the contract I had in for the ones for 10,000, and but you got like 40 to 50 off of it. God dang it, I hate when I get the brain freeze. It was like the government programs.
Yeah,
you know, you get 40 to 50, which it brought the prices back down for you.
Yeah, the HUD program.
Right, that. Thank you.
Got an FHA loan.
Yep.
I used to be a mortgage banker for Harbor Bank. You know Harbor Bank?
Yep. That was black. Well, you said, do I remember? They ain't closed it down, did they?
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm asking because
no, it's still there. And Independence Federal.
Yeah, because that's black owned. Mm-hmm. When you said Harbor Bank, I
used to work there.
Yeah.
That's a loan processor.
Yeah. Well, you with a third when you said Harbor Bank, God darn. Yeah. I ain't heard Harbor Bank name in a long time. That's why I said they ain't gone as the.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the man in charge. I used to know him personally. I forgot his name.
And I'm trying to think of the other black one.
Independence Federal.
Okay.
Hey, Steph, is your race streamed up?
Huh?
Is your 45-minute streamed up?
Over here?
On the other, yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, I was going to stop it. I probably get ready to stop it anyway, because nobody is commenting on it. And like I said, I don't want to make it too long. But I know they over there listening. I could normally see